Well, for more on all of this, let's bring in attorney Emily Compagno. Emily, good morning.
Good morning.
So let's first go back to Flynn and him, cutting this plea deal with the government. Do you think that this is actually a good thing to put this behind things in the rearview mirror for President Trump, or do you think that because of these allegations, the tweet from Trump's lawyer, that things are going to be worse for the president?
I think we have not seen the last of it by any stretch of the imagination, but I will say that unfortunately the president's continual tweets about the situation are rendering him a little bit vulnerable. Now, we have seen many courts incorporate his tweets as evidence, as part of their discovery and as part of the world in terms of their analysis of cases, including his immigration law. So I think moving forward, it would behoove him to say less, because the more that he says, the more that is open for interpretation and analysis as this investigation continues.
Well, what a lot of the liberal media has picked up on is the fact that the President Trump back in February had said that he fired Flynn only for lying to the vice president. Now, but that tweet that now caused this big brouhaha for President Trump, again, that was his lawyer saying that he wrote that, and he's already come out and said, look, I didn't mean to make news here, and that this is an overreaction, basically.
Exactly, and that's part of what is so murky here, frankly, that, again, courts have held, and including the White House spokesman months ago, that tweets were part of the official White House record, and then tweets have been interpreted as being President Trump's intent or indicative of such. So now when he's saying, well, it wasn't me sending it, then how are courts to interpret that? How is the law to interpret that? So I think that we're in a really novel area, which is difficult for everyone to interpret, and unfortunately, we're not going to know more about it until and unless it develops further.
It just seems to me that, this phrase obstruction of justice keeps getting thrown around so loosely when that's a very difficult thing to prove. And so far, the investigation has not pointed to obstruction of justice, especially by President Trump.
I totally agree with you. And to be clear for viewers, obstruction of justice is absolutely incredibly difficult to prove. Frankly, the courts have held that you need a significant amount of evidence to prove it in a ton of areas within it. So one being a corrupt specific intent, and another being that you need an actual demonstrable formal behavior or comments to rise to that level. And commentary at this point, it doesn't rise to it. In the contemplative aspect of the statutes, it really has to deal with destruction of evidence. And interestingly, the Ninth Circuit, whom President Trump often disagrees with, has held that an FBI proceeding is not the kind of investigation that obstruction of justice covers. So when we have senators like Dianne Feinstein tweeting out, "This smells like obstruction of justice to me," I take issue with that because it's simply not enough at this point.
Right. Going on a Sunday talk show and saying, well, we're investigating this. Well, you can investigate anything, but whether there's anything there, I think is the truth here that we need to get to. And Emily Compagno. Emily, thank you very much.
Thank you.